Alright, so today is going to be a vlog of some sorts, I guess. I know they're not very popular, but I have a 2000 Plymouth Neon behind me, and I get to do a clutch in it. Yay, Chrysler products. So, at least the clutch is modular. It's a cool design. Like, with a normal clutch, you have the flywheel, and then the disc, and then the pressure plate. So there's a pressure plate, and then those are clutch discs over there, and also is this. But with this one, it's like all in one, so it's literally, this thing is the flywheel and the pressure plate and the clutch disc already aligned, and then we have the throwout bearing. So, yeah, we do have the lube, the spline lube. That's good. All I have is axle grease, so that is definitely going to come in handy. My garage, as ever, is still an absolute disaster, but I'm making progress with the engine. That's the one that's going to go back in the car. I still have to take the heads off of that one and do some cleaning, and it's mostly garbage, but we are having an issue with our garbage pickup people, so it's going to take a little bit before I can get all this crap gone. Quick side note, I don't usually drink alcoholic beverages, but this stuff is fantastic. It's Henry's Hard Soda. They have different flavors. I got the grape stuff. It's really good. Another quick update to the Forester. I now have a wing. So that is pretty damn cool. Doug is back. Say hi, Doug.
Hi, Doug.
So I now have a wing. I'm gonna paint it white. White.
I think you should paint it black.
Yeah, I don't really feel like the Rolling Stones though. There goes Doug, always with the music puns. So yeah, I get to do a clutch on this, but at least it's modular and there's not a whole bunch that I gotta do, which is cool. It is just gonna be an absolute mental crazy pain, but Chrysler products. Doug is setting up his drum set. He's got a new drum set, or he's got his first drum set, and yeah, I'm working on vehicles. If you're into RC stuff, check this guy out, Peter Streeple. He's awesome. So I'm underneath this neon here, just a plug to always be responsible when discarding your old fluids. The transmission has to come out of this, so I have to drain the gear oil on account of I need to pull the CV axles and all that stuff. So the next thing I'm going to remove is this here plate, which is attached to the oil pan and the bell housing of the transmission. Then I'm going to loosen the starter. Then there's a plate here that exposes the bolts to undo the clutch assembly from the flex plate, and all that stuff. I have the car supported on 2 jack stands, and in turn my floor jack just for safety. I will be using this to support the engine off of the oil pan soon, once I pull the engine or pull the transmission. This looks light enough that I can, you know what, I might use another jack stand to support the engine, because I'll probably have to pull or lower the transmission from up top or from down here with this guy here. But anyways, I'm going to pull the ball joints. Thank God they aren't super rusty, which is totally friggin' awesome. So I'll probably hit them with some penetrating oil and pop them off at the knuckle, just so I can get the half shafts out. Get a little pry bar or something up in there and pop them out. And then the transmission will be free, aside from the bolts that hold it to the block. This car does not really have a K member. Lee Iacocca would be very sad. It's got more of a U member, or I don't even know, because like this right here is an engine support. The AC condenser is right there, or the AC compressor is right there. The intake is up front, the intake manifold is up front. and I have no idea what that is. Maybe an oil cooler. Maybe it's something to do with the air conditioning system. It is shielded. I really have no idea. But what's surprising is how rotted, well, not rotted, but how like rusty the subframe is, and the back one there is definitely seen better days. But this side is worse than the other side, and the frame is asymmetrical, so it's like more I don't really know, it's longer on this side than it is over here. If you look at it here, then you look at it over there. I guess my one saving grace is that the transmission has this massive area to come out of. So tranny end's there. There is a bolt up there, but I'm probably just going to take it off of the mount up here, because there's a mount up there that I can undo, which in turn connects to the frame rail right there. But this guy right here has plenty of room, like miles and miles of clearance on either side. I don't even have to fiddle with the radiator hoses or anything. It's friggin' awesome. So that is the one saving grace, I guess. And then this thing looks like an upside down heart, at least from here. My thoughts every time I work on a Chrysler product. But anyways, I'm gonna get back to work. I have my GoPro over there doing a time lapse. All right, so it's the end of day one. Working on this neon, doing the clutch job. I got most of the stuff that I need to do done to drop the transmission. So it's up on jack stands and ready to go. That's my buddy Rappy. Say hi.
I'm here for more support.
Yeah, and helping me put my tools away and all that stuff. This is the awesome dude you've seen in the drone videos, and he's the previous owner of the Iris Plus. So yeah, that's basically the end of today. You're planning on coming by tomorrow? All right, so we will do some more vehicular shenanigans. There's a mosquito biting my pinky. Always fun. I should have recorded it live. I bleed for you. But anyways, there's a little bit more to do. There's about 2 or 3 bolts left to undo before the transmission will come out. I got all my stuff that could be stolen out and back into the garage. I got my security camera, and the car is pretty much perfectly framed in it, so if any hoodlums come, I will know exactly who they are. I'm looking at you. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I know you wouldn't do something like that. Yeah, so here's some of the crap that I've taken off the car. At the moment, the clutch kit's right there. That's a battery tray, and then this guy, a little some sort of aluminum whatever hubcaps. There's the tools I was using and all the bolts and lug nuts and stuff. The wheels and tires for the front, and that's pretty much it. I don't really have anything else to say. Do you have anything to add? No? No?
Watch his videos.
Alright, so it's day 2. Gonna pull the right side ball joint, or passenger side ball joint, passenger side CV axle, undo a couple more bolts to the transmission, and then tranny's gonna come out. I'm gonna put the new clutch in and hopefully get the trans back in to the point where it is now, and then button it all up on Tuesday, because Monday I have plans and I'm being taxi. So yeah, hopefully that's what happens, and I will update as we go. So it's about 45 minutes later. The right front ball joint gave me one hell of a time. It's the only thing on this car that was even remotely rusted. Like, I'm used to, you know, Subarus and all that stuff, but with the ball joints being so rotted and rusty that you can't even get the nut off. This car has a design with, it's like a through bolt for the ball joint, and then a nut on the other side instead of something that threads in and like a pinch bolt. So that gave me one hell of a time. I had to break out the PB Blaster and just kind of spin it for a while to free it up and get all the gunk out of it and all that stuff. But then once I broke the nut free and all that stuff, it came out okay. But it wore me out, you know, fat guy and all that stuff. So I'm just taking a quick break. Doug just left to get some lunch. There's a place down the road wow, my finger, that way. I'm still not used to the angles on this phone. Nope, it's down there. Okay, I know where the camera is. But yeah, Doug went to get some lunch. Place called JR's. They make some half decent stuff. It's like a convenience store that has like a sub shop / deli type thing. Even though last time I went there and I asked for a chicken finger sub, they had no clue what it was. And even when I said a chicken strip sub or, you know, chicken tender sub, they had no clue what it was. So it must be a New England thing or something. Just taking a quick break, gonna eat some lunch, and then get back to work. I have a couple more bolts, and the transmission will come out. And then that's pretty much the bulk of the work. Taking it out and putting it back in is a little bit easier, believe it or not. So after I get the transmission out, I just gotta pull the old clutch assembly off and the old throwout bearing off, put the new one on, lube it up nice, or properly, and then put the new clutch assembly on, put the transmission back up, get a couple bolts started, and then I'm home free. I can start reassembling and all that stuff. The tear down and not knowing how this thing comes apart fully is the hardest part. So that's update on day 2. It's about 12:30 or 1-ish, something like that. And yeah. So an update on the Neon. Sorry about the wind noise. This phone usually does a decent job about it though. I've run into a small little snag. I don't have a socket that will fit over that, nor do I have a wrench that is the correct size. I believe it's like a 20, and I only have a 19 and a 22. The 22 is very loose on it, and I don't want to, you know, strip it or anything, so that would be bad news bears. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to undo the bolt down there, and this guy, and then there's one more right there. Yeah, right there. And then the transmission will be ready to come down. So I'm going to do that. There's one more back there that I need to get, but I need to run in to go use the restroom, and then I'm going to get to work. I have the engine kind of supported by a Widowmaker, and then I'm going to use the floor jack to lower the transmission once I get it loose. So pretty much the only thing holding it in right now is it's got some dowel pins that hold it to here, and I don't think this has ever been separated before based on how clean the threads and everything are for the bolts that came out for the bell housing and these guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop this, and I'll probably have to use a pry bar to wedge the trans and the block apart, but not a big deal. I have a Subaru and I'm used to aluminum corroding to aluminum, so it is completely okay. Alright, so an update, it's about 5:50 or 4:50, I don't really know, take a pick. There's no transmission in this car, so I was able to get it out. There's my prize. It's really scuzzy in there. The clutch fork is in decent shape. The throw bearing has definitely seen better days. And then the clutch assembly is over here. So, I don't know if you can see, but it kind of looks off center, which isn't very good. And then, if I stick my finger in here, I think a few rivets have come loose. So that's definitely a bad thing. But we have a new assembly over there, ready to go in. I'm probably going to bring the transmission into my garage, clean it up a little bit, because it's absolutely packed full of clutch dust. So I'll probably hose off the inside of it with some brake clean. And yeah, so I'm probably going to call it a day for today and finish it up on Tuesday. I'm busy tomorrow. And yeah, so that's a 2000 Dodge Plymouth Chrysler neon transmission. I wonder what the problem is. Looks fine to me. Hooray. I should probably get axle seals too. So I'll get those while I'm out tomorrow. I think they're only $6 a piece, so that's not all that bad. But I mean, this thing doesn't weigh all that much. It's probably like 60, 70 pounds. Not a whole bunch. I had to take the speed sensor off because the clip to get it, or to get it off is an absolute pain. But other than that, it was okay. There was a few bolts that were sneaky beaky. Mainly this one. That one was sketchy, but other than that, it's decent. So I'll probably end up publishing this tonight and do like a part 2 or something, because this is already day 2. So I'll do a part 2 when I pick it back up on Tuesday.